What I wish they knew while they were raising us is that I saw them. They were loved. You know what I'm saying? They were enough, is what I'm saying.
Roll me, Mac.
If past you could see present you, what would they say? Um, if past me saw me, they'd say many things. They'd be like, wow, I can't believe that you were able to overcome a lot of that shit that we used to let keep us down, if you will, afraid to make moves. And then at the same time, it's like, why you acting like you ain't never been through this type of shit before? You know what I'm saying? So it's seeing past ego, whoever you believe you are right now. So I guess the present ego together, and them having a conversation and just looking at you like you're stronger than your fears, man. There's things that are gonna happen in life that you ain't never seen before. I mean, there's so many things that I never thought I would be able to do in my life that I was able to do. And it all was like having the courage to do it. So I think past me would look at present me and be like, man, I'm so proud of what you've done, of what you've been able to accomplish, but don't lose sight of what and don't lose sight of these things when you start doubting yourself, when you start believing the hype that's being said in your mind, because, you know, your mind is a liar. Your brain is going to find a problem. That is the point of a brain, is to solve problems. So it's going to look for faults. It's going to look for error. And it's like training the brain to recognize the positive energy that also ruminates through your mind. And sometimes it's tough, especially when you're constantly working on the next goal, and constantly working on the next goal, and constantly working on the next goal. Taking time to just sit there and acknowledge what you've already accomplished, man, and where it's taken you from. You know, the mindset that you used to have when you first started out in this world is not the same mindset in which we are right now. I think the past me would look at present me and be just overwhelmed with how much you've been able to endure, yet still overcome. It's challenging. It can be very challenging for some of us, man, especially when we just constantly try to, you know, you have a little bit of that perfectionist in you. And it comes with a lot of things, you know what I'm saying? Like the ability to handle criticism, for that matter. Robert Kiyosaki was like, if you're not able to handle criticism, you're not ready for success. And I try to keep that in mind, especially when I'm my biggest critic. So even my own criticism of myself, unless I agree with it, it doesn't bother me. You know what I mean? So that's like just with all of it. You know what I mean? So I look at myself and I think the things that I say to myself and recognizing where that voice comes from, because more than likely it's something I wouldn't say to somebody else, but for whatever reason we tend to be harder on ourselves. Maybe because we have more expectations. Well, I don't have any expectations out of anyone but myself, truth be told. And I think that's the kicker. I think the kicker is learning to not have those as well. Like having goals, but not having so much, like if it doesn't happen, it doesn't define who you are. It doesn't, your identity is not based off of these goals and whatnot. It's just something that you just do while you're here on this earth. You know what I'm saying? Like you just are, you just be. That's the only thing we are to do on this earth really, is just to be. And be a human being, just to be. We can get beside ourselves and trap into the ego, and the ego will have us thinking, you know what? Well, we have to be this. We got to be that. We got to be whatever. You know what I'm saying? But truth be told, it's just about being. So the past me would be like, man, just enjoy yourself. Watch more comedy. You know. Again, just a reminder to do so, because that's what got us through. That's one thing I can say. Watching a lot of comedy got me through a lot of tough times that probably should have broke me coming up. And, you know, so that's where I see myself with that, working towards doing so. You know, watching more comedy, not taking things so serious, but taking me serious. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that I can handle business the way that I need to, because I know that there was a time in my life where I didn't take anything seriously, which is also part of that past that I'm learned to integrate with the present day. And it's like finding that balance, man. Finding the balance of like taking yourself seriously, but not taking yourself seriously, all in one. Challenging, but it becomes a useful tool when faced with adversity, when faced with things that are outside of your control, and just finding the humor in it. Not deflecting, but finding the humor in it so that you can push forward and realize that this is not the end. You know, everything's temporary. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's just, it goes like the seasons. That's really it. So, you know, you have your fall season, you have your winter season, you have your spring season, you have your summer season. How Jim Rohn explains that is that, like, you have to prepare in the fall for the cold winters. Those are your toughest times. You know what I'm saying? And then spring comes along and things are starting to look promising again. And then summer is like when you're on cloud nine and everything's on top. But you know that the fall is right after summer. So it's learning to adjust with the seasons and preparing. Everything is preparation. You know what I'm saying? Failure to plan is a plan to fail. So past me would look at present day me and say, take these things in preparation. You know what I'm saying? So that we don't fail. And I think that's I know that's how we're gonna move. Yeah, I know that's how we're gonna move forward in that way. So past me could look at present day me. Past me would be so damn elated and proud of the efforts that we put into becoming what we've done on this earth while we're here. And present day me would look at past me and be like, yeah, we had this in us the whole time. So that's what I think. That's what I believe past me would say to present day me. What's something that you wish your parents knew about you while raising you? Something that I wish my parents knew about me while raising me was that I didn't need them to be superheroes. You didn't have to be whatever childhood unresolved thing you had from childhood. You didn't have to do that. On my account, you know what I'm saying? Like, and also that, and I also wish they knew how much I adored them. For that matter, I saw the good in them no matter what they did. Truth be told, they were my parents, and I'd say that's like the first lessons of like unconditional love. You know what I'm saying? It's like we can get over these things, but I know a lot of times I felt like I had to do shit in order to receive love. You know what I'm saying? And I think that was just something that was passed on. I don't think that was something that was meant to be done, but I think that was the interpretation on my end, which is, I'm sure, is the same interpretation on their end from when they were receiving it. So it's like becoming a cycle breaker. You know what I'm saying? And I just wish they really knew how dope they were. You know, like as hard as they were on themselves, they put on their best face. That's what you learn as an adult. How much your parents were putting on an act to not crumble in front of you. And they didn't have to. I am just incredibly grateful for their sacrifices, accomplishments, efforts, mistakes, everything that made us in the present day. And they gave me the best that they had. You know what I'm saying? Considering where they came from. And that says a lot about us as humans. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's different experiences. Like, I wasn't raised the way they were raised. You know what I'm saying? The things they experienced, I wasn't privy to. Fortunately, or unfortunately, depending on the situation. But me and my brother, we were not raised, we were raised in the same house. We just weren't raised the same. And that's because I got a different version of where my parents were at the time in their life, just as much as my brother got a different version. You grow older, you get more mature about things. You make you can look at things and assess them, be like, I would have done this differently. And but while raising me, I really wish that they knew how, like I said, how much I did look up to them, and in my eyes, they could do no wrong. Now that whole pedestal shit, that's solely on me. But doing so, but I just really just appreciate them. I just thought they were to me, some of the funniest, coolest people that I knew. You know what I'm saying? That's what made our days go by. You know what I'm saying? Like being able to have jokes, but it's like laughing to keep from crying. And I understand that now as an adult, going through my own fair share of parent challenges, life challenges, man challenges, what challenges in general, and being able to have grace. Truth be told, having grace for what they had to endure, what they did to ensure that me and my brother didn't have to want for much of anything. And truth be told, we really didn't, man. I had a great childhood. I believe, if anything, it's something that everybody could have just used, not just the kids, but I do put emphasis on kids, but giving out that unconditional love and showing that love to one another, and not without the pain part. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to raise yourselves, all of us, in survival. You know what I'm saying? It's the difference between when you're raised in love and when you're raised in survival. When you're raised in survival and you come an adult, you keep thinking that danger is lurking around the goddamn corner all the time. Don't get me wrong, there is the possibility of it, but the anxiety, the trauma, the PTSD that comes with everything that you had to endure as a kid is tough. You know what I'm saying? I think that's on anybody. But it's still like an amazing adventure is what it's been. It has its fair share of challenges. You know what I'm saying? Communication somewhat has diminished over time due to said trauma, PTSD, events that have happened, not being able to apologize for things. So you try to protect your peace away from this sense of toxicity that you believe is going on. But that doesn't take away, at least for me, it doesn't take away the efforts that my parents done for their family. And he said it wasn't always perfect. Wasn't all sunshine and rainbows, that's for damn certain. But as far as like what I wish they knew while they were raising us is that I saw them. They were loved. You know what I'm saying? They were enough, is what I'm saying. You know, in short, is that I truly believe that they were enough, at least for me. I didn't want anything outside. Like, all of this shit that I've done since leaving the house was all to really just get that I'm proud of you shit. You know what I'm saying? Essentially, that's what it started out to be. Before I realized that I had to do it for me, I was doing it for them. I was doing it for love. You know what I'm saying? I was doing it conditionally. And it helped. I mean, I got the knowledge to do certain things, you know what I mean? But ultimately, all I really wanted was that. I don't give a fuck about nothing. I didn't give a fuck about nothing else. You know what I'm saying? Like, if my parents thought I was the shit, you know, that was it. I don't give a fuck about nothing. I didn't give a fuck about nothing else. I was just all about family. You know what I'm saying? And then I saw what we were in. The pain that we all were in and how we were projecting that shit. And that it wasn't helpful. It wasn't helpful for me. Even catching myself projecting shit. Like, damn, where did we learn this from? This is something that just keeps getting cycled in to our family, but it doesn't have to be that way. But nevertheless, I'm, like I say all the time, I'm very grateful for what they had to do, what they felt they had to do to get us to where we needed to be, us getting out of the home and getting on our own. But what I really wish they knew while raising me and my brother, and my daughter too, for that matter, I really wish they knew that they were enough. If there was anything I wanted to state, know that you were enough. You were lovable, you were valued, you know what I'm saying? Appreciated, but you were enough. How was Thanksgiving this year? Thanksgiving this year was therapeutic, man. I got to see my pop's mom, and it's actually a birthday today, 90. So happy birthday, Grandma. I love you. Doris, that is, recognize. Happy birthday, Grandma Doris. 90, you know what I'm saying? To make it that long, but me and my uncle got to chop it up, talk, you know, again, having, I would say, man talk, if you will, healthy brotherhood talk, and also with my cousin, you know what I'm saying, who also got a business going on. They got a food thing going on in Laurinburg, North Carolina. It's called TNT Tasty Table. So be sure to check that out, add their Facebook and all that. But it was a really good time just learning how to play like this card game. It's like called OG, but it's similar to Uno. My cousin, when, you know, ex-Navy, was in Washington, they learned that game and he kind of brought it in. So it's fun though, it was fun. And also seeing like the kids doing like dance videos on YouTube, like the Michael Jackson videos, like from the Nintendo Wii game, just doing the dances. Watching Glorilla videos and you know what I'm saying, Bootsy and whoever else is popular and popping right now, and you know what I'm saying, in like current day hip hop. But pies, food, everything, you know what I'm saying, just good conversation, laughs, and just really being in the present moment. I mean, I truly did enjoy my time with my family, with the family. and just maxed out, chilled, and it was like I said, it was a dope time. Got to see the family, got to see how they operate with one another. Yeah, it was cool. It was really good. Like I said, it was a really good time, and it wasn't too far. I didn't get to go out of town, but I was close enough. You know what I'm saying? I'll say that too, because I had to work the next morning. But I was far enough at my house or whatever. So, but it was a good time. I got to have some really dope conversations with my little cousin. You know what I'm saying? It's like into comics and drawing and shit like that, and just having intellectual conversations. Like, you didn't know whether or not that I was 39 or she was 15. It was just a conversation that was met. And even with her mom too. So it was just dope to have those conversations, learning to other folks who had, it was like my aunt's, I think my aunt's cousins were there as well, who also has, they got catering business going on in South Carolina. So it's just a whole bunch of like, I would say young entrepreneurs and all in one section, but it wasn't about the labels and none of that shit, nor what you did. It was just about being in the present moment. So Thanksgiving was dope. I had a great time with the family, and look forward to the next family adventure. Who's someone you've outgrown, and in what ways? Someone I've outgrown in my mind is the entitled woman. Yeah. The woman that carries herself like, she's God's gift to the world. And how I used to find my value in being with that person who didn't even value me. What I mean by I've outgrown that is that when I recognize it, it's of no use to me. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's something that I mean, that's great. I love that you have confidence in yourself, but all you see is you. You know what I mean? And like that personality, it took some time to kind of, overcome that for myself, based off of how I was raised, based off what I saw, based on relationships that I saw to be familiar, which were toxic, and not realizing it's not what was best for me. Once I recognized that and I sat with myself, it enabled me to understand that I don't have to be put on a pedestal. She doesn't have to be put on a pedestal. But if we were to just value one another as just being human, then relationships can essentially be healthy, you know what I mean? But that entitled one that believes they're just better than whoever, But yeah, that thing has just been so outgrown, and you see the way that they treat people and how they speak on people, how they place judgment, how they tear down somebody because they don't have this particular brand of clothing, or because they misspelled this word, or they said this wrong. And it's like, who gives a fuck? You know what I'm saying? That doesn't take away the impact that person can have. You know what I'm saying? They might have just had a bad day of any sort. You know what I'm saying? But to come off like that individual to me has been outgrown. Entitlement, believing that the man is just going to drop to his knees for you just because. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to be worshipped in a sense, and it ain't gonna happen, Captain. You know what I mean? And like, I try to be very aware of when I'm around said behavior. And it's just having that knowledge, having that courage to just walk away. and recognizing the power of walking away. Like there's so much power in us as men in this particular situation. There's power in women too, but in this particular situation, as a man, to be able to walk away from what no longer serves you. In that sense, like I don't want to. I'm not having it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not having the entitlement. There's boundaries with this shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to project me onto you, and I certainly am not going to allow you to project your insecurities onto me. And what I mean by me projecting onto you is my own insecurities. And when I catch it, I'm holding myself accountable to either admit it and remove myself, or you know what I'm saying, whatever it takes to ensure that does not even go down that way. But definitely the person that who something that's been outgrown is the like I said, the entitlement when it comes to women and dating and shit like that. This whole thing of, you know, the bad bitch. Cool. Right, she looks good. What's her personality like? You know what I'm saying? She does not value people if she is of no consequence to me. You know what I'm saying? You put a snake in a dress, still a damn snake. You know what I mean? So I personally am not, it's not enough to just be beautiful. You know what I mean? And I used to think that was what you wanted, especially growing up in your 20s in Miami. And you know, that is one of the most materialistic cities you'll ever encounter in your life. And you live there long enough, you can get swallowed up by that shit, for real. And I learned a lot. I was humbled by a lot of things, but being around those personalities of people that have this idea that, you know, there's God's gift to the world, and that whatever they say goes, and they just, you know, they do what they will with men. They don't value, you know what I'm saying? They don't necessarily value men per se. They value their own ego. And when you grow up, when you become more mature, when you put more value into yourself than what you do to having this particular woman in your life, it really changes things for you. So I'd say, looking back, and something that I've really outgrown, like a person I've really outgrown, is the entitled woman, and realizing how can she contribute? How does she complement the life? How does she add peace? She's not going to be the peace. No, she's going to complement my peace with her own energy in which she has. But she's not responsible for my happiness, and I'm not responsible for hers. And I think that's really the biggest thing I guess I'm trying to make land here, is that I'm not responsible for your happiness. So it's like we can just enjoy each other's company. You get to do you. You get to do what you want to do. I do what I want to do. But when we come together, it's just, we soak up each other's time, and we make the most of that in the present moment. You know what I mean? And instead of feeling like I have to have you do something in order for me to be happy, I need you there in order for me to be happy. I don't think that's fair. It's codependency, if you will. And that's what I believe those scenarios I had myself in, trying to be the ultra nice guy, thinking that was the way. And then getting with this person who did not appreciate, the value of a man that was willing to do just about anything for them. And, you live and you learn. And I damn sure learned. So it's learning to put more focus into you and your purpose than that of, a woman who doesn't even value you. So I think I know for sure that's something that I've learned from outgrowing those situations. But again, if there's someone that I've outgrown in my life, it's certainly the entitled woman, because there's just no room for that anymore. And high alert, truly on high alert about it as well. But I'm sure that's a bit of PTSD and trauma to go. So it's like, again, remembering to have grace, but we still ain't tolerating that shit. What qualities do all the people close to you tend to have in common? Qualities that the people close to me tend to have in common is that they're stronger than they give themselves credit for. If I'm being honest, looking at it, I observe their conversations. I listen to them, and they essentially try to count themselves out in a lot of cases when their strengths are stronger than their fears, and they really are. They're like I said, they're really dope. They're just truly dope individuals that I tend to keep close to me, and like I said, and I do my best to practice loving them unconditionally. It's not easy, of course, because you've never had it. So it's like, all right, well, what do we have to do? What does that mean to love somebody unconditionally? And then just go and essentially go from there. But the one I'll say that thing there is that they're stronger than their fears. They're stronger than they give themselves credit for. But they have I would say they have amazing gifts to offer to the world, and just by essentially just being them. Like I can be around them and just see like the strengths and weaknesses, but the strengths outweigh the weaknesses, whether they give themselves credit for that or not. I mean, whether they know how to cook really well, whether they know how to listen very well, whether they know how to be very reliable. They'll pull you out of a jam, you know what I'm saying? Whether they do crafts, they know how to do shit, with creativity. They have an extreme love for music. You know what I'm saying? Their ability to formulate these mixtapes, mixes, playlists, all of that shit, you know what I'm saying, is to me is a gift. Like just that you know what I'm saying, like the knack for music. I see it. I mean, I saw this growing up, with my dad, like his ability to make music, make mixes that that flowed together so well. And the names would match the feeling that you got when you would play the tape or whatnot, cassette tape to date myself. And then eventually getting into like CDs and stuff. But being able to make those mixes, the ability to make somebody laugh on command, you know what I'm saying? Like just naturally funny, and like knowing about cars, like these people that I hold close to me again, and even being involved, let's say, in the sense of like childcare or social workers, and you know what I'm saying, like these abilities, and let's not forget the ones that have the medical knowledge, you know what I mean. They're stronger than they really give themselves credit for, and the beauty of it all is that we all do it. You know what I'm saying? Like we all can doubt ourselves. We can all be our biggest critic, and just being able to look at shit and be like, man, you know what? We really have that skill. You know what I'm saying? Like to overcome, and it's like again having that tribe, and being able to trust your tribe in certain times. You know what I'm saying? When you feel like you don't have any other option. You know what I'm saying? You do your best to try to be the strongest, and all of that. It could be ego, it can be a survival mechanism, whatever you want to call it. But it's being able to appreciate and be grateful for the skills that some people have in life that's able to help others in time of need when the time comes. So learning trust is a motherfucker, still is, but like knowing what I truly do know about the ones close to me, what they have in common is that they're stronger than they give themselves credit for. They're stronger than their fears. They are very impactful. They have something to improve this world in their world rather, on a day-to-day basis, which they do. You know what I'm saying? Strive to be better than the day before. That's, I know for sure about, you know what I'm saying? Whoever's around me, that's just gonna rub off, because that's what every day is learning something new. And, you know, I don't know enough to be a pessimist. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, all right, let's just figure out why. Let's figure out how we can, how and why. You know, two questions that you want to ask yourself on a day-to-day basis. But yeah, if there's anything that the people, I would say, in my tribe have in common, it's that they're stronger than they give themselves credit for, and that they are practically superheroes or villains. Depends. But I'm out.
Roll me,
Good night,
Mac.
kids.